guys, I wanted to really quickly share a story from yesterday of something that happened to me while I went to buy the money order to pay my rent. I went to a Walmart that's the smaller kind. They're called the neighborhood Walmarts because normally their customer service never has a line and you can also buy money orders from there. So this is my second time going there. Well, when I pay for the rent, we do a split payment. I have my mom's card and my card. So I tell her I need a money order for so and so. Then I would like to split it between two cards. And everything was good, except that right after I paid, their terminal crashed. It said an error message, and then I couldn't get my money order at that instant. So then the lady who was helping me calls another lady, and she's like, I've never seen that error before. So she voided the transaction, and I saw on the screen that it had voided it. But I immediately checked my phone, and of course, it doesn't reflect that I was receiving my refund. So the lady decides to do a reboot because their other computer was also having weird issues. And yesterday was a windy ass day, so everyone everywhere was having problems. And I kept hearing that places that were close to the hospital were also suffering, and other places that had power outages too. So I'm like, okay, clearly today is going to be a bad day. Well, after their computer reboots, I still don't see my money in my account, and they were asking me if I wanted to try again, and I'm like, well, I can't try again if I don't have my funds back. So then the lady suggests that I call my bank, and then I called my bank, and they told me the exact thing that I knew, which is I did pay for it, but there's no indication that there's a refund on the way. So then I ask her, the lady from the bank, I ask her, how long does a refund take? And then she says, well, it could be a couple of days. And I'm like, what? So internally, I was starting to lose it, but I'm like, I'm not going to panic just yet. So I hang up and I address the lady again at the desk, and I ask her, well, do you know how long it takes for a refund to process? And she's like, honestly, no, at this point, there's nothing else that we can do. So, I'm just expressing my frustration because I'm like, it wouldn't bother me if it wasn't rent. Because the lady from BB&T, that's my bank, I asked her if she happens to also know what I can do in the meantime. Like if there's anything that I can do to accelerate the process, because over the weekend, the bank is closed. So I'm sure that nothing processes during these 2 days. And I asked the Walmart people the same thing, and they were like, yeah, I can see your concern. And then Monday is actually the 5th. So if it takes a few business days, that means that it's going to put me at my rent being tardy, which means I have to pay extra. So, anyways, the lady at Walmart was pretty reasonable. She was like, well, I had a couple last week who was also trying to pay, and they were having problems. So, if you would like to, you can sit tight for a few more minutes. Do you have to go to work? And I'm like, nah, I have all the time in the world. And then she was like, okay, well, in a situation like that, then don't worry about it. If you want to just sit tight and let's see if your refund comes back. And if not, then I'll see what else I can do for you. So it just so happened that I start texting someone, and then during that time, my money comes back. So I'm like, hey, I see that my money is back. So let's try this again. And so we do, and it turns out to work. So I'm like, ooh, fantastic. That is a great relief. And my favorite part of it all is that I did not feel like I had to get extremely frustrated. Like, I didn't feel like I needed to be worried at that point. And also, the Walmart ladies were really trying to help me out. They did their reboots, they did everything that they could. And they also understood why I was starting to get stressed out and worried, and they were like, well, I would really love to do more for you, but at this point, we just have to wait on the terminal. And then I said, you know what? As someone who works customer service, I know what that mess is about. So ultimately, when I got my money orders, I asked the lady if I could hang on to the pen that I had in my hand to sign the receipt that printed that was asking for my signature. And then she said, oh yeah, if you don't mind, hang out with us for another minute. And then she radioed the other lady who had gone to see her manager about my situation. And then she came back and she said, do you mind waiting another minute, because we want to give you a gift card. And I was like, oh wow, well, yeah, of course. And I really wasn't expecting that. Like, that was the last thing in my mind, but I'm glad that they were genuinely apologetic and then they offered that. And what blew my mind is that this is Walmart. I associate Walmart with they never want to work with you. But then the lady said that she appreciated that I remained calm and collected and extremely patient. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, why not? It's not your fault. And I didn't come here in a hurry because of this. I always wait for days when it's good to for me to be out for extended periods of time and not have any stress, because I know that stuff happens. It can be traffic, it can be the terminal, it can be a number of things. So I'm just glad that they worked with me and they were kind as well, because in the past, anytime I had issues with someone else, they weren't really kind about it. Like, Walmart never tried to work with me in any way. So yeah, it was pretty satisfying, and it's crazy. I got a gift card from there, and I never shopped there except for money orders. But I'm sure that there's a few stuff that I can pick up or maybe get stuff for someone. So that's exciting. But yeah, you guys, I feel like I had to make this because usually we vent about situations that are negative, and I see more negative remarks about a company online more than compliments. So, say at Chick-fil-A, I always get a consistently good experience. So, I've never made a video about how I get consistently good experiences at Chick-fil-A. So, I felt like since Walmart really impressed me this time around and it's a good experience, I thought I might share that. So, yeah, you guys, do you have any stories like this? Were you disappointed one time on customer service from somewhere, or have you been mind blown by an experience? Let me know, because I love hearing stories like that, especially since it's something that I work at. So, what do you wish they would have done for you? And anything that you want to tell me. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon, if this thing lets me go timely.